Hey guys, so I know it has been a while, but first and foremost, welcome to 2026. I'm super excited about this year, but just like with any year, in order to have a successful year, at least according to me, you have to have a budget in place. Otherwise, you will spend the entire year not knowing where any of your money went to, and you're gonna end the year worse than what you started the year off with. So I know I'm a little late with this because y'all, it is pretty much the end of January, but better late than never. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up my budget for the year, and if that sounds like something that you're interested in, you have come to the right place. So let's get started.
I've been getting to the money. Everybody mad.
So I know it has been a while since I have done one of these videos. I'm thinking about bringing it back in 2026. If you guys have missed these, leave me a comment down below so that I know you guys are interested in these kind of videos. I think it's really nice to like go over my month with you guys, especially like when it comes to a budget standpoint. So if this is your first time seeing the budget, I did not create this budget. I actually purchased this budget from someone here on YouTube. I will leave the link down below so that you guys can check it out if it is something that you're interested in. But I've been using this budget for years and I absolutely love it. So she did a really good job. And that means a lot because I love spreadsheets and I'm very particular about my spreadsheets. I ain't had to make no changes to this. She did a really good job, so you guys should check it out. But anyway, so here is the budget that I am using, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of give you guys a brief overview of the tabs that I find most important. So if you come down here to the dashboard tab, it kind of gives an overview, and so once you fill this out throughout the year, these buckets will automatically populate. So you don't have to change anything in the dashboard tab. And then for year-to-date totals, this is automatically populated as well, which makes it so awesome. And so there's also a debt payoff tab. So when we go down to the net worth, I don't have anything filled out here yet. I might complete that this year. It hasn't been a big ticket item for me to complete this portion of the spreadsheet, but it is there. So I have very lofty savings goals, and that is because I am part of the fire community. I want to retire early, and so I just dump money into savings, dump money into investments. And so I'm gonna go ahead and complete this portion of the spreadsheet now. So for my long-term savings, my goal amount is going to be $500,000. And y'all, I know that may seem like I just threw out a random number, but I really didn't. That number is calculated by my fire number. And so I did create a video, and I'll link that here so you guys can see how to calculate your fire number. And so if I'm not mistaken, mine was 2.1 million. And so in my long-term savings, which is a brokerage account for me, I need to be saving about or investing about $500,000 in that particular account in order for me to reach my fire goal. So that number is not random. So right now I have $866, and that's okay. We all have to start somewhere. And my target date for that is I want to be able to reach that by 2050. So that is my target date for that particular goal. So for my short-term savings, my goal for that is to have $50,000, and that number is also not random. The reason I want to have $50,000 saved is because I have a goal of getting a investment property. And so when I look at the type of investment properties that I would like to purchase, $50,000 is what I would need in order to have the down payment as well as some cushion to supplement any type of repairs that the home may need. So it's not random, but my short-term savings goal is $50K. So for my short-term savings, I currently have $8,622 saved. So I am a little bit on my way. And then I would like to have that saved by, I'm gonna give myself, I wanted to have it saved by the time that I turn 35. I don't think that I'm going to reach that, unfortunately, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put in 2028. So this was supposed to be 50,000. That's why it's not working. So 50 comma 0. There we go. Sorry about that. And then this is missing a 0. So sorry about that. All right. So yes, I had to go ahead and put that in. So it's saying 0% saved, y'all. It ain't give me no type of credit. So for my custodian account, I actually do not have a goal amount. So that is just an account that I put birthday gifts into. Y'all, I am not the auntie that is gonna buy you a bunch of stuff. I'm not. And it's not because I don't care. It's just not something that I found value in. And I'm so sorry, y'all. So I much rather invest in a custodial account or a college fund. And so my friends and family that do have accounts set up for their children, I send the birthday gifts to that. So I don't have a particular amount that I would like to save for them, but there is a custodial account that I have, and I have saved $1,169 in. And let's say the goal, I'm gonna just make up a goal for $18,000, and that is just based off $1,000 every year until they turn 18. And the goal is to not save $18,000. The goal is for me to invest in funds that will grow the account to $18,000. And I think that that would be a really nice coming of age gift. So for my house savings, this is what I use for the emergency fund for my home. It originally was like $5,000, and y'all, that is just not enough. It is not enough. So the way that the world is going, I definitely need to increase my emergency fund for my home. And so I am pushing that up to $20,000 because I just need to be prepared, y'all. We had the government shutdown last year where we didn't get paid for a month and a half, and it looks like it's possible there's going to be another government shutdown. And so I just need to make sure that I'm prepared for that. So I need to pad my housing emergency fund a lot. So when it comes to my housing emergency fund, I currently have $6,793 saved up. It's not invested. So there is a difference from putting your emergency fund into an investment account versus putting your emergency fund into cash. And so I do have a emergency fund in investing, but the one that I use for my house is actually in cash because I might need the money faster. So it's in cash. And so the goal amount for that is $20,000, and we're going to include what we already have saved. So I am about 34% of the way there. So my Roth savings goal is going to be $500,000 as well. And again, that is because I've already looked up my FIRE number, so the number that I need to retire early. And so based off that, I know that I need $500,000 in the long-term savings and then $500,000 in the Roth. And then that is going to be in conjunction with how much I plan to save in my TSP. So it's not random, y'all. It's very calculated. And so for my Roth, I currently have $43,000, and we're just going to put that as a round number, saved. And we're going to include that. So I'm about 9% of the way there. And let me go ahead and change these dates as well. So for a travel budget, y'all, I love to do traveling. I have some trips planned already, but I definitely need to tone it down because I have a big purchase that I'm planning on paying for next year. And so I need to cut down on my travel. So for this year, I'm gonna put my travel budget at $5,000. And I currently have, I don't think I have anything saved for that. So yeah, 0. And we're gonna save that by, let's just say December 31st, 2026. Okay, so we have completed the savings goal tab, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into January. And so what I really like about this spreadsheet is that everything is automatically populated. It would include all of those bills into the following months. So I really like that. And so the only thing that you need to do is put in what you actually spent, and it will automatically calculate everything else for you. So I really like the ease of this spreadsheet. And so I'm a big advocate for setting your bills on automatic payments. And in order for me to do that, I start my account with $1,000. So for example, if I know that my monthly expenses when it comes to all of my specific bills that I'm putting on automatic payments, and so if all of my bills come up to $800, I plan to have in my account $1,800. And so that way it would allow for any fluctuation within my account. And so Dave Ramsey kind of does this when he talks about having an emergency fund, but I don't like to count this as my emergency fund. I kind of like to count this for account fluctuation. So whatever your monthly expenses number is, add $1,000 to it. And so that way, whenever there's fluctuation within your account, you know that your account should never be below $1,000. So in order for this to work, you have to have one account designated for all of your fixed expenses. So this is going to be your rent or your mortgage. This is going to be your phone bill. So you're going to have one account that you're using for all of your fixed expenses, and then you're going to have a second account that you're using for all of your discretionary funds. So the way that I set this up is that I have one account that is labeled bills, and that is all of my fixed expenses. In that bucket, I include the water and electric because I set myself on an average so that it's considered a fixed expense every month. So for example, on average, I'm spending $250 every month for electric. When my electric bill is $211, I still put $250 into the account. If my electric bill is $260, I still put $250 into the account. And so that way throughout the year, I know how much I'm gonna spend on my electric because I am paying the average. So no matter if my bill is less or it's a little higher, because I'm taking the average, it pretty much works out throughout the year. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, you can set your account to not go above a certain amount. So if I know that my electric bill is typically $250, my electric company fortunately allows me to set an automatic payment, and it allows a maximum amount that it will not automatically pay. So that way I'm never gonna overdraw my account. So my second account I use for all of my discretionary spending. And y'all don't freak out on what I consider discretionary spending because I'm just letting you know what I do. So my discretionary spending is gonna include anything that can go up or down, and I can go without it. So for example, eating out is a discretionary spending. Me traveling, any type of entertainment is considered discretionary spending. So in this bucket, I also have my gas, y'all, because I consider gas discretionary spending. It doesn't have an exact amount that I'm using each month, and I can make that number go up or down depending on what's going on in my life. I also consider my grocery bill discretionary spending because it can go up or down, and I can base that budget on what's going on in my life. So if I am spending too much in one area of my discretionary spending, then I'm gonna spend less money on my groceries. So I don't have a specific amount of money that I'm spending in groceries every month. I do of course have a budget, but because it's not a fixed amount, I consider that discretionary spending. And so the main difference between my fixed expenses budget versus my discretionary budget is that my fixed expenses or my bill account does not change. So it is going to be the same every month. I can pretty much clock it like clockwork. It's going to be the same. And then my discretionary budget or spending account is going to be a different amount every month. Like I can control how much I'm spending out of that account every month. And so I keep those accounts completely separate, and I have the automatic payments on the fixed expenses account. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into what my fixed expenses are going to be throughout the year. Apple, I'm going to budget $11.65. For my car insurance, it is $215.78. My electric, so for my electric, I am going to budget $275. For the gym, that is $30. Mortgage is $2,000. I have Netflix, and y'all, they just keep going up. $27. Therapy, I'm currently not in therapy. I have graduated, y'all. I graduated.
How you say graduated in Spanish?
In Spanish, graduated is graduado.
Girl, I just graduado.
So my phone bill is $154.81. And then my dad's phone bill is $40. And y'all, it is such a blessing to be able to help my parents out. So yes, so my phone bill actually includes me and my mom, and then my dad's phone bill is on his own, but I pay both of those. And so water is $50 a month. Water is not paid every month, but I know that I'm gonna budget $50 because my water bill is about $150 every 3 months, and my HOA is $145, and Amazon Prime, which y'all, I would like to get rid of this, but or put that expense onto somebody else. But yeah, so here is my fixed expenses for the year. And so because we are at the end of the month and I did not do my January budget at the beginning of the month, I'm gonna just go ahead and put in these expenses for January, and then we'll go ahead and get into the budget for February. So while y'all watch me put in my expenses for January, I just wanna come on here and say thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. I really enjoy making these videos and helping my community. I know that in 2025 it was so rough, especially for the federal government and their employees, because oh my gosh, it was so much up and down, and it was just so much going on in 2025. And so I just did not find myself being in good spirits to come on here, and there's just a lot of work that goes into making these videos, and I just spent a lot of the year just having fun, like finding fun where I could, just exploring new things. And one of the things that I want to talk to y'all about, which is going to be coming up in February, is that I actually decided to go back to school this year, and I find myself being a forever student. I have always said that about myself. Like if you would have asked me when I was younger what would be my dream job, I always said that my dream job would be to just go to college or just continue to go to school and getting paid to do that. I just really enjoy learning, and I consider myself a forever student. So for 2026, I have decided to go back to school, and I'm going to be taking classes that are interesting and fun to me. So I feel like undergrad, I picked a career that was based off of my interests, and then I went to grad school. And I feel like I just really did not take any fun classes. Like I was just a very serious student. I was by the book, and I ended up graduating early because I was just so laser focused on taking the necessary classes to get my degree and get up out of there. And so now in my 30s, I'm returning back to school as not a passion project, but kind of like just doing something fun and learning things that I enjoy. So starting next month, I am going to be taking Spanish, and I'm really excited about it. And so I've also decided to take general contracting classes, which I'm really excited about, because I think that it is a very useful skill. And so one of the things that I have learned by being a YouTube student, kind of started wondering like what kind of things would I like to do if money wasn't an issue or money wasn't a concern. And I'm sure like some of you guys kind of had those thoughts too, like, oh, if I hit the lottery, what would I do? And so when I really think about things that I enjoy and what I would like to do, I think that building things would be something that is on that list. So why not learn how to do it correctly? And so yeah, I'm excited about that. So with that being said, now that I have completed my list of expenses for January, y'all, I done did some spending. So I have a birthday in January, and so I can see that I had a lot of miscellaneous spending. And so that spending is gonna kind of lead into the rest of the year. So I know that I'm going to like a baseball game with my brother. So I had a big Ticketmaster purchase where I bought multiple tickets, and then I'm having people trickle in and pay me back for that purchase. I also see that I bought some sportswear for that game. I also see that I got an oil change, which, you know, that doesn't happen every month. And I also see that I, you know, bought me some birthday gifts. So the miscellaneous spending should definitely go down in February. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and make our budget for February. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start completing the budget for February. And so I'm gonna base this budget off of kind of like my input for January. And so for Amazon, I didn't have anything for January. I'm gonna go ahead and budget $50 for the month of February because I know that I have some travel coming up, and there is 2 things that I would like to buy off of Amazon. And so I'm gonna go ahead and budget $50 for that. So for business, I am a content creator. I do have an LLC for that. So for business, I know that at the beginning of the year, I typically would buy a few SD cards. This year, I actually think I'm gonna need a new external hard drive. And so those are things that I'm gonna need to budget out. And so for the month of February, so y'all, I'm gonna have to put $300. I have a couple of subscriptions that renewed at the beginning of the year. Although it's the end of January, they should be renewing the last day of January. So for car maintenance, I just got an oil change, so I shouldn't need to budget anything for that. For clothing, I know that I have a vacation coming up, so I'm gonna budget $100 for that. For education, I know I just told you guys that I am going back to school this year, starting in February actually, but I actually paid for my class last year. So I paid for my class back in October when registration opened up. So I actually don't have any tuition or anything to pay for, but I'm gonna put $150 in case there's a textbook or something that I need to pay for. So for gas, I'm going to budget $200, which should be way more than I actually need. Gifts, I am actually going out of town to celebrate a birthday, and so for gifts I am going to budget $150. Groceries, so for groceries in the month of January I spent $423, so I'm gonna go ahead and round that to $450. For house expenses, y'all, so if you're on the East Coast, there is this huge snowstorm going on right now, and I know that I'm gonna need more salt. So I ran out of salt. Also, the shovel broke. So I'm gonna need to replace the like snow scraper shovel thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and budget $60. And for y'all that don't have to buy salt, salt is expensive. So the last time I bought salt was in 2024. I didn't have to buy any salt for 2025. And y'all, it was like $30 for some salt. So I'm gonna budget $30 for another bag of salt. Hopefully it's still $30. And I'm gonna budget $30 for a new snow removal shovel. So legal fees, thank goodness I don't have any legal fees that I have to pay. Miscellaneous, I don't like miscellaneous spending, so I'm gonna put that at 0. And hopefully everything that I'm spending, I have a appropriate bucket for it. So for medical expenses, I'm not gonna budget anything. Oh, actually I do have to budget because I know I have a doctor's appointment, 2 doctor's appointments. So I'm gonna budget $60. So that's 30. Ooh, let's budget $70 because I have $35 copay for both of those. And unfortunately, those are also gonna come with parking requirements because of where it is. Personal care, I'm gonna budget, I've been going back and forth on if I'm gonna get my hair done for vacation. I have not gotten my like braids, my beautiful braids, in years. I didn't get any braids in 2025. So I'm going back and forth on if I want to get braids for vacation. I am going to budget $100. That's not enough for braids, but it's gonna be $100 in case there's something else that I want to do, like if I want to do my braids myself. Speeding tickets, 0. Because y'all, it's icy. I shouldn't be speeding anyways. So for restaurants, we are gonna budget $100. There's this restaurant that I really want to check out. I have a coupon to go, and so hopefully I make my way over there. And then travel, so I know I'm going out of town. I have pretty much prepaid for everything except for our activities. So the flight, the hotel, all of that is paid for already. And so I just need to budget for the activities while we are there. And so I'm gonna budget $300. And hopefully I come in under. For Uber, and I don't Uber Eats anymore. So if you guys remember, the last time I done one of these like monthly budgets, I had a part-time job, and that part-time job was on the weekends, and I used to Uber Eats my lunch to myself. So I don't have the part-time job anymore, and so I have not done Uber Eats since. But I will include Uber as far as like the transportation portion because I know that I'm traveling. And you know what, I'm actually going to include that in the travel budget so that I'm making sure that I'm accounting for that with the travel budget. So I'm going to up the travel budget to $400 to account for the Uber to and from the airport and then Ubering while we are there. And then work items, nope, I don't need any work items. Can y'all believe, and I'm sure that y'all can believe, I asked for a desk calendar at work this year for 2026 and they told me no. They said we don't have a budget, we don't have it in the budget to give you a desk calendar. So I was really disappointed in that. So for savings, long-term savings, I think let's go over here to this savings goal. So for long-term savings, I need to be saving, how much did it say? Monthly. That don't sound right. Oh, so I see that this is not calculated correctly because it's not accounting for investing. It's just accounting for savings. So I'm gonna just go ahead and leave that alone. So we're gonna go ahead and go back to our February tab. So for long-term savings, I am going to put in $100. Short-term savings, I am actually putting in $2,000. And custodial, nothing. House savings, I am planning to put in $150. Roth, y'all know how I feel about the Roth right now. And so if you don't, you can check out this video here for my TSP overview for the year. I'm currently not putting any money into the Roth. I've been very wary on if I'm gonna lose my job or not. And so all of the money that I typically would put into my Roth, I have been saving that in cash. So yeah. And then so for travel, for future travel, I'm gonna put $200 because I know that I'm gonna be traveling this year. And then for emergency fund, we're gonna put $200 as well. For debt, we are gonna budget, a lot of these do not apply anymore. So for the CAP card, we're going to pay $500. For my Citibank, I don't have anything Discover. That is $300 a month. JCPenney, don't have anything. Student loan, I am currently on deferment. And that is because I have submitted all of the paperwork in order to get the remainder of my balance forgiven. And so while they review that paperwork, it's been deferred. My payments have been deferred. And like I said, it has been a year and 3 months since I've submitted that paperwork. So what can I do? So that is 0. And then Fifth Third, I don't have a balance there. So yeah, so we are in pretty good shape. If you guys enjoyed these kinds of videos, leave me a comment down below so that I can continue to do them. Believe it or not, it is a lot of work to make these videos. It doesn't look like it, but it really is a lot of work, like going through, and I would do it anyways, but it's just an added amount of effort that goes into trying to film it for you guys. So yeah, if you can just give me a thumbs up or let me know down in the comments below if you guys actually enjoy this type of content. So as always, I love talking to you guys. Consider subscribing to my channel so that you can be notified when I make future videos. Make sure that y'all check out my channel and see some of my other content if this is not your cup of tea. I love to make content on the FIRE movement, being a federal government employee, and preparing for retirement, as well as investing. All right, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.